Alright guys, collection update for October. October was a month I really didn't plan on buying very many games for, but, you know, just walking around various stores and what have you, I found a bunch of stuff to buy. So, we're going to, I'm going to stop talking here, and we're going to get right into this, so we can hopefully get through all this in one video. And the first thing we got here is Action Fighter. I went to my local store, found some Master System games, and decided, you know what, I don't know what Action Fighter is. I have no idea. I haven't looked into it, but I'm going to pick it up anyway because it was only $3, and I want to build up a little bit of a Master System collection since now I have one. This is, you know, basically Spy Hunter, but instead of driving a cool car, you're driving a cool motorcycle that fires machine guns. It's pretty much the exact same game, other than, you know, updated graphics for the Master System and you're riding a bike. So other than that, it's still, you know, hard as can be, as hard as Spy Hunter is, but yeah. I'll give it another, you know, couple tries and see if I really like it. I was not really a fan of Spy Hunter. I really just owned Spy Hunter on the NES because it's a nostalgic thing, but and then we got Alex Kidd and the Lost Star, which Alex Kidd was the mascot of Sega before Sonic came on and, you know, threw him into the dustbins of obscurity. But this is a pretty fun platformer. I'm not, you know, too sure how I'm supposed to combat enemies in it, because it's like anytime I fight something, it does damage to me. So I gotta figure that out. I have to go online and look up some stuff on this, because it just seems like I'm supposed to be able to jump on things because of Mario, and I can't. So, and then next we have Gavelius, the Valley of Doom, which is a Zelda-esque type game. I heard RPG Swagman and Johnny Millennium talking about this on their All Gen Gamers podcast, and I decided, you know, I need to get some Master System games, so I'll look into this. I've played a little bit of it, and I do kind of like it. I'm kind of excited to jump into it, so I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'll probably do a game discussion video once I beat it, but get that out of the road there. Then, of course, since I now own the Master System, I had to get Ys the Vanished Omens, which is essentially just book one of, you know, Ys 1. But the graphics are, you know, really good. Looking at other games, you know, like the Famicom version, it's far superior, but it's not as good as the TurboGrafx, obviously. But it's still fun to play. Gotta own every Ys game. And then the next game here is kind of an interesting one. I read about it on a... I don't remember where I read about it at, but that is King's Knight. And if you notice down here, we'll get really close, it's made by Square. So the first thing you think of when you see a Square logo on a game, you think RPG, right? Incorrect. This is actually like, it's almost like a top-down action game, like Ikari Warriors or like Ninja Commando or something like that. But you play as this knight in one stage, and then if you die, because when I played with this, I of course died horrifically, but if you die, then you take over the role of the wizard who plays on a different stage, and then if that wizard dies, you take over the role of a dragon, and then if the dragon dies, it's game over. But I need to play this a lot more, but it's an interesting game because you would think, you know, King's Knight, medieval dude, Squaresoft, it's an RPG, but it's not. But it's still fun, so we'll give it some more tries. And then the next game is Supernova. We get it close there so you can see the logo. And I was actually recommended this game on my Super Nintendo collection video by Andrew Daniel 87, because he saw that I was talking about Darius Twin. And this is actually the sequel to Darius Twin. I think it was called Darius Force in other regions. But they did this a lot back then. They would release, you know, like a game with the, you know, the real name of the series, and then they'd release a sequel with a different name too. I don't know if it was because the first game didn't do well or what's the deal with that. But when I bought this, like, except for this little bit of damage I did while trying to take off the sticker, this had a huge Blockbuster sticker right there. And it had a huge, like, you know when you peel off stickers and it leaves the residue and, like, the paper? It had all the paper covering up everything but, like, that corner. So I only saw the Supernova up here. and that. So I was able to get that sticker off and get the Blockbuster sticker off without really damaging anything other than this back label. But getting up close there, it does look really good for the condition I found it in. So it's a pretty fun game. Okay, and then next we have the reason why I've been waiting to do this video, because I have been waiting to do this video. I've had these games sitting around and like, man, I really need to make this video, but I was waiting for my ship to come in, if you will, and I bought some Super Famicom games. This is Dragon Quest 1 and 2. This is to finish out my Super Nintendo Dragon Quest collection. I think the only thing I really need to get is Tornico's Secret Dungeon or whatever it is on there. But I could probably play these games in my sleep. The language barrier is not a problem, especially with Dragon Quest 1 because I've played it so many times. But had to have it to complete my, Dragon Quest collection on the Super Famicom. So picked that up. And then we got Fire Emblem Mysteries of the Emblem, which is technically Fire Emblem 2. When they released the first Fire Emblem on the Famicom, there was a second game that came after that called Fire Emblem Gaiden, I believe. And this is actually the continuation of the story from the first game. So I wanted to pick it up because I do... Let me get you some close of the box art there. I do love me some Fire Emblem, and of course these never came out in America because apparently, we can't handle this stuff. But, yeah. I do plan on playing it. I don't think the language barrier will be too big of a problem with it. I think this is the game I do have the English ROM for as well, so. And then this was not so much a suggestion, but Muragaru553 made a video on this game. This is Treasures of Ruta, and I instantly, as soon as I watched his video, instantly went out and downloaded a English ROM of the game because there's, it's an RPG, of course, and there's a lot of text. Let me get you that gorgeous box art there. Squaresoft, so it's going to be Squaresoft back in the era of the Super Nintendo, so it's going to be good. But this has a really interesting battle system and magic system in it, and I think I will put a link to his video down in the description box, because if you guys like collecting Japanese RPGs, this is one to get. Most often, these games are pretty cheap because, the language barrier and whatnot, but this one was actually pretty expensive. I had to pay $30 for this, so. But I watched his video, and I was like, I got the downloaded ROM, and I was like, man, I'd really like to have that in my collection. So I talked to him about it, and he said, yeah, good luck finding it for cheap. So I found it for $30. That was a price I was willing to pay, so I picked it up. So I'll put a link to his video in the description. And then finally, to complete my Ys collection on the Super Famicom, I have Ys 3 Wonders from Ys, which I own. If you watch any of my collection videos, practically every system got Ys 3. And I don't know if I'm going to buy Ys 5 Expert Edition. I probably won't because it's like $75. But I now have Ys 3, Ys 4, and Ys 5 on the Super Famicom, so keep buying them, those Ys games. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to skip a generation because I didn't buy any PlayStation 1 games. We're going to move on to the PS2 here. And we're going to start off with what a lot of people consider to be a really bad game. I don't know. I haven't played it yet. We got some glare going on there. Let me just hold it like this. That's Dawn of Mana. I found it for $4, so even if it is a bad game, I'm not going to be too upset about it. But, yeah, I've been buying these Mana games. We'll see how it goes. I hear it's pretty bad. And then, of course, I've been working on getting all the Disgaias. Probably won't buy every version of Disgaea, but I did find a black label version of Disgaea 1, so now I just need to find Disgaea 2, and I'll have Disgaea 1 through 4. But, yeah, strategy RPG. I'll get into that here soon. I've been wanting to play a nice strategy RPG. And then we got God Hand, which is, got Capcom, but then you got Clover Studio, and I've heard a lot about this game, both from the All Gen Gamers podcast, and a couple other people have talked about this too, so I wanted to get it. It's a beat 'em up, 3D beat 'em up, but it's like, Oh, I haven't got around to playing it yet, so I can't really. I can only describe what other people have said about it, but it's pretty. I guess it's pretty wild. So, pick that up, and then we got Gungrave Overdose, which I was a huge fan of the anime series of Gungrave, and I hear that that was based off of these games rather than vice versa. So this is the second game in the series. I need to find the first Gungrave, but it looks pretty fun. And then finally, for this generation, we got Extreme G Racing 3 on the GameCube, which this is another game that they were talking about on the All Gen Gamers podcast. I remember playing Extreme G 1 and liking it, so they Pete Dorr said that you should pick up Extreme G 3. It's pretty fun, so found this for $3, and so I said why not? But yep. So I'm looking at my clock here, and I'm about at 11 minutes, so I'm going to cut this one short, and I will do a part 2 video where I go through the more modern and portable stuff that I picked up. So I will see you guys next video.